Hey there! Welcome to Jackie Talks Horror. I'm Jackie, and today I'm giving a rundown of my top 5 Mia Goth performances in horror films. As always, I'll be using images and trailers from the films, and will put links to the trailers in the description down below. Mia Goth has given us some spellbinding performances since her first role in Lars von Trier's Nymphomaniac alongside Willem Dafoe in 2013, and has quietly built up a strong filmography inside horror. These are 5 films where I think her performance is absolutely brilliant in, no matter what I think of the film itself. If you don't see your favourite on here, let me know in the comments below what I'm missing. I'd love to know. And I will keep this list spoiler free so you can watch any you like the sound of. In the outro, I'll put where the film would be placed if I was ranking this by the film itself, instead of Goth's performance. So stick around for that if you want to know. So let's kick off with my number 5 performance by Mia Goth, A Cure for Wellness from 2016. This is one of Mia Goth's earliest ventures into horror. A Cure for Wellness follows a stockbroker, Lockhart, played by Dane DeHaan, who is ordered to bring his boss back from a mysterious Swiss Alps spa. Once there, he finds the guests strangely docile and they don't seem to want to leave. He notices a young, mysterious and enchanting young lady, Hannah, played by Mia Goth, who seems out of place in the setting of rich older people, and she seems to have some sense of herself and what she wants. While not the lead, her character is very much integral to the story and definitely makes an impact on you. This was her first major studio film, and it's in this film that she started to make a name for herself. And she definitely showed her acting ability and that she isn't afraid to tackle challenging roles. Hannah is eerie and unsettling throughout with her slightly off mannerisms and behaviour, and Mia Goth makes it all seem natural and effortless as we learn more about Hannah and the events unfold. The film goes on, Goth's performance gets better and more dramatic as the events escalate. If you haven't seen this film, it's a great original psychological thriller with breathtaking scenery and some beautiful cinematography with an absolutely bewitching performance from Goth that you should definitely watch when you get the chance. Okay, so on to my number 4 Mia Goth performance with Frankenstein from 2025. This is Guillermo del Toro's vision of the well-travelled story of Frankenstein and his creation, and the first of the double role films on this list for Mia Goth. I didn't actually recognise it was her as one of the characters until I looked at the cast list. They were that different, and she'd definitely undergone some makeup and prosthetics for it. The first role is as Claire, Victor's mother. She comes over as a mother that dotes on Victor and protects him from his father's volatile temperament, whilst being slightly timid and a little scared of him herself. The second role Goth takes on here is as Elizabeth, a very intelligent and cultured young lady that is engaged to Victor's brother. She isn't afraid to push a debate with Victor over his ideas, and the dialogue between the two is sometimes light-hearted and quirky, but as their relationship changes, so do their exchanges. Goth is fabulous in both of these roles, and you believe the maternal protective side as the mother, Claire, and the feminine conflicted but with a deeply curious mind as Elizabeth. If you haven't seen it yet, this is a masterpiece from Guillermo del Toro that you need to watch on the biggest screen you're able to, and one that I hope is recognised at the Oscars with 2 very different but equally fantastic performances from Goth that show she is not afraid to do the work necessary to inhabit 2 unique and complete characters in the same film. So next up at number 3 is X from 2022. So this is the second of the dual role films for Goth and the first of the 2 Ty West X trilogy to make this list. Rather than a traditional scream queen, Mia Goth has become one of horror's most distinctive and compelling leading figures, and this is where she really exploded as a horror star. X is a slasher set in 1979, following 6 young people out to make a good dirty movie, after they hire a farmhouse in rural Texas to film it in. As they start filming, they find the reclusive elderly owners of the place have a dark secret, and are left fighting for their lives when the couple find out what they're up to. The first character in this film that Goth plays is Maxine Minx, one of the young stars trying to make the film. She is the star and knows exactly what she wants. Her catchphrase is, "I will not accept a life I do not deserve." Second is the elderly Lady Pearl, one of the couple that own the place, with a rich history and backstory. I watched the film knowing that Goth had 2 roles in this, and was amazed at how well the practical effects were done, and she gave an excellent, energising, self-assured performance as Maxine, trying to make a mark in the world, taking risks, and an unsettling, believable performance as Pearl, who saw her younger self in Maxine, and was captivated by her. There are definitely standout moments and scenes for both Maxine and Pearl, and Goth was phenomenal as both throughout. I loved the aesthetic in this film. It definitely took inspiration from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with great directing, storytelling and acting all round, and has a great script. If you haven't seen this one yet, you really need to. Okay, so in at number 2 is Infinity Pool from 2023. This is probably one of the most nuts film ever, and that's not surprising, as it's from the mind of Brandon Cronenberg, who also wrote Possessor and Antiviral, both extremely unique films. Infinity Pool follows a couple, James, played by Alexander Skarsgård, and M, played by Cleopatra Coleman, on holiday at a luxury resort, when they are convinced by a couple that are regulars at the resort, Gabby, played by Mia Goth, and Alban, played by Jalil Lespert, to take a trip out of the grounds, which is strictly against the rules, as they uncover the resort's perverse subculture of hedonistic tourism. This is one of Mia Goth's most unhinged performances, aggressive, shocking, and unforgettable, as she goes all out as she commits to a truly twisted performance as a seductive and mysterious Gabby, slowly turning James into her toy, as she bewitches and lures him into doing things totally against his character. There is definitely a scene or two that only seem to be there for the shock factor. A quick warning for the squeamish, this film seems to have every type of body fluid on display at some point. But overall, this is a great film with a standout performance from Goth, and good acting all round from the rest of the cast. The film has an interesting premise, no spoilers here, but I don't think I have ever seen a film like it, with striking cinematography, as well as a paradise-like setting, and a score that adds to the unsettling atmosphere of the film. If you like films like Triangle of Sadness, so don't mind things getting weird with WTF moments, and are not squeamish, this is one to watch, and it will definitely leave you thinking. Okay, so for my number 1 Mia Goth performance, and I don't think it will be too controversial, is Pearl from 2022. So this was a shock prequel that was written during a 2-week COVID isolation break while Mia Goth and Ty West were waiting to film X. And it's the second of the Ty West X trilogy to make this list. Pearl is a twisted psychological family drama and a tribute to old Technicolor days. Think Wizard of Oz here, big bold colours, and is perfectly set in 1918. It tells the backstory of Pearl from X as a young girl wanting a better and more exciting life for herself, yearning to get away from her stifling obligations with her family, and while she feels her dreams are slipping away from her, it becomes clear that Pearl will stop at nothing to achieve what she wants. This is definitely the best performance I have seen from Mia Goth. It helped that she understood the character completely as she co-wrote the script. Pearl may not be my favourite film in the trilogy or even my favourite on this list, but there's no denying that Goth gave everything she has to bring this character to life, flipping from sweet and innocent to angry and vengeful, verging on insane in an instant. And even then, she digs even deeper to give a truly remarkable monologue near the end and a final shot you will remember. Despite this film being a prequel, it can easily be watched without having seen X, as it stands on its own, and it's got its own distinctive style. It's an amazing film, and I know a lot of people's favourite in the trilogy. If you like slow-paced character study films, you need to watch Pearl. You're in for a treat. So that's all for this video. My top 5 Mia Goth performances in horror movies. It's surprising how even in an ensemble cast or not as the lead, she manages to inhabit her characters and bring them to the forefront and shine. Was your favourite on there? Did I miss any? Do leave your comments down below, and remember, this is only my list of Mia Goth performances. I'd love to know what your list is. I'm sure it's different to mine, and it'd be a boring old world if we all like the same things. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss what's coming next on this channel. This is Jackie signing off. Take care and see you next time.